And for more on this, we're joined by the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, Dan Patrick. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for joining us on the telephone for Houston. The call is out this morning for volunteers to help in the rescue efforts. And we just heard from Catherine Herridge, more assets are going in. Are you encouraged this morning, even though your state and residents are facing very tough conditions?
Look, I'm always encouraged to be an American and be a Texan. We come together as one, Eric, and as I know you've been showing videos throughout the days and the evenings of extraordinary efforts by our volunteers. You know, there's a movie out in the theaters, Dunkirk, about the big armada that want to save their soldiers. Well, we have our own flotilla right now. We have people trapped in their homes, and we have them trapped on balconies and on apartment rooftops. And people from Louisiana, from surrounding states, from all across Texas have brought in their boats, and they're going out, staying till past dark sometimes when it gets pretty dangerous. It's dangerous during the day as well, and they are joining our brave first responders. And we have people, you mentioned in the last report, some photos from New York that's here to help us, California, Louisiana, Nebraska, Arizona, states all around us. This is going to be years in recovery, Eric. This is a storm. I've been here since '79. I've been through a lot of these storms. And if you can picture, Eric, if I can paint a picture for you. First of all, the storm came in at Rockport. That would be like, and then Houston is about 200 miles away. That would be like the hurricane hitting Rockefeller Center and Boston being flooded with we are.
That's unbelievable.
That's how the distance. And if you put a clock on the wall, and if you envision the middle of the clock being Houston, and the northern end of our suburbs would be 12 o'clock, a place called Conroe, and the southern would be 6 o'clock, which would be Galveston. That's about 70 or 75 miles. And then 9 o'clock would be Katy, Texas, that you've been hearing about on the west side. And then 3 o'clock would be the east side, Baytown and beyond. That whole clock is underwater. Everyone is underwater. Allison was certain areas, other storms were certain. The whole clock, we're paralyzed. I'm actually can't be on an uplink with you because I'm flooded in right now. I was hoping to get to Victoria and other points. I can't even get out of my own neighborhood. My daughter's home is flooded out. Everybody is being impacted.
Wow.
And, but we are together as one, Eric.
You know,
we're together as one.
That is the message, Mr. Patrick, that you are and we are as one nation, together as one. You talk about the flooding. Allison claimed 23 lives or so. Rita, more than 100. Yes. And they've had the Tax Day floods and the Memorial Day floods. You know, this is the third just in the last 3 years, but thankfully so far, the death toll is frankly rather low at this moment, sadly, tragically likely to go up, but at 5, there seem to have been some precautions and efforts taken. How long do you think this will go, and what is the greatest challenge immediately this week that you face?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the President of the White House. They responded quickly to Governor Abbott, and the Governor and I have been in constant communication. He's in Austin, I'm in the Houston area, and the Governor's done a great job. As you reported earlier, or your last package, we have every asset deployed possible, whether it's the Coast Guard or state, local and county, and volunteers. It is a massive rescue effort. It's all about lives right now, Eric. So for me, what the focus is, we'd like to get a break in the rain, at least for a day, so that some of this water can recede. But this issue, if the storm turns and comes back and dumps more rain, that will be a problem mid and later in the week. We can't absorb much more. And secondly, the other issue is all of these hundreds of thousands of people, as they're evacuated, you have to have a place for them to go. You know, right now, everyone's they're joyous to be rescued. You know, you can replace stuff. It's stuff. You know, you can get your house repaired, but it's your life and your family. So when you see these people get rescued by police or fire or volunteers, they praise God. They're thankful. But the reality of the world will come in a week or two, and they'll be at a shelter somewhere if they don't have a family, and their kids will have to go to school.
Yep.
And you're going to have to supply 3 meals a day, and you're going to have, you know, and you have to supply security and all those things. It becomes a massive operation. This is a Texas-sized disaster. Maybe at the end of this week, the biggest disaster in American history, impacting the most people and the most economic damage, and hopefully not the loss of life. Yeah. And it's not just Houston. It's all across, 200 miles away. But we'll put a Texas-sized effort together. And in a country today, Eric, that we've seen sadly divided along many issues, Every Texan stands together today. There are no Republicans or Democrats or liberals or conservatives or black, white, and brown. They're all Texans and Americans helping each other to survive. And once we get through the survival and once the rain stops, we will rebuild.
Dan Patrick,
and Texas will continue to be great.
Thank you. That is your message. We will survive. We're one country. We are in this together. Our hearts and prayers are with you, with your fellow citizens. We're sorry to hear about your daughter's flooded home. Thank you. The rescue efforts will continue, and we will stay on this.
And she'll be fine, too, Eric. Hey, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye.
Lieutenant Governor.